All information is gathered through Bulbapedia.com. Check them out, link is in the description. Hey everyone, it's DKGM, welcome back to the Pokedex. In the last episode we looked at Pokemon 31 through 60, and in this episode we'll be doing Pokemon 61 through 90, starting us off with Poliwhirl and ending at Shelter. And yes, once again, it's another evolutionary line that'll be in the next episode, which sucks again, but I don't know how many more times it's gonna happen. But with all that out of the way, without further ado, let's get started. We'll start off with the first Pokemon, Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl is a blue bipedal Pokemon with a spherical body. It has bulbous eyes that protrude from the top of its head. A black and white swirl covers its belly, which is actually organs showing through its skin. It appears to have white gloves on its hands and rounded digitless feet. When out of the water, it sweats to keep its skin moist and healthy. This keeps it covered in an oily fluid that allows it to slip away from enemies. Poliwrath is a blue bipedal Pokemon with a round body and muscular arms. It has bulbous eyes that protrude from the top of its head and its belly that is covered by a white and black swirl. There appear to be white gloves on its hands and it has rounded digitless feet. Poliwrath's body is almost entirely muscle, and the muscles in its arms and legs never tire. When it swims, it uses all the muscles in its body and is able to swim vast distances with minimal breathing. It is even capable of briefly running on the water's surface. Abra is a bipedal Pokemon that is primarily yellow. Its face is kite-shaped with a small pale yellow snout and two short pointed ears with pale yellow interiors. Its wide eyes are normally closed. Abra's body is segmented with black skin that is visible between its joints and along its neck. It has two pauldron-shaped extensions on its shoulders as well as a brown fold-like piece around its chest. It has 3 digits on each hand and foot, but its fingers are considerably shorter than its toes. Kadabra is a primarily yellow humanoid Pokemon. It has 2 long pointed ears on top of its head, a red star on its forehead, narrow deep set eyes, and wide cheeks leading down to a thin snout. Extending from each side of its snout are 2 mustache-like tufts of fur. A male will have a longer mustache than a female. Kadabra's torso is segmented with bulky shoulders, a thick brown chest, and a small abdomen marked by 3 red wavy lines. Attached to the Pokemon is dominant is a large thick tail encircled with a brown band near its base. Alakazam is a Pokemon characterized by its humanoid structure and a large mustache. A female Alakazam has a significantly shorter mustache than a male. It has a long thin snout, narrow eyes, ear-like spikes extending from the top of its head, and an additional spike protruding from each cheek. Covering its yellow skeletal body are brown armor-like sections over its chest, shoulders, forearms, and knees. There are 3 toes on each foot, each of which have a white claw. 2 of the toes face forward while one faces backwards. It wields a silver spoon in each hand, which acts as an amplifier for its psychic abilities. It can also Mega Evolve with the Alakazite. Machop is a humanoid bipedal Pokemon that has gray skin. It has 3 brown ridges on top of its head, large red eyes, and a relatively flat face. On either side of its chest are 3 thin rib-like stripes. Its feet appear to have no toes while its hands have 5 fingers. It has a short stubby tail. Machop's entire body is covered with muscles that will never tire or cramp. With these muscles it can lift many times its own body weight. Machop is a bipedal humanoid Pokemon covered in gray skin. It has a vaguely reptilian face with a short snout, narrow red eyes, and 4 pointed teeth with visible inside its mouth. 2 of these are teeth in an upper jaw, while 2 are in the lower jaw. On top of its head are 3 brown ridges. Its arms are muscular with dark red vertical stripes on them. The lower part of its body has black markings that resembles briefs. It is always seen wearing a black and gold Power Stay belt resembling a championship belt. It possesses large pectoral muscles that protrude slightly over its belt. Machamp is a large humanoid Pokemon with 4 well-muscled arms. It has bluish-gray skin, red eyes, and a pale yellow lips. On its head are 3 brown ridges right above its eyes. It has 2 arms on each side of its body. A pair located in normal position, another pair directly above that attaches on top of the shoulders. It has black markings that resemble briefs and wears golden Power Save belt that resembles a championship belt. Its leg has considerable muscle tone and its feet have 2 toes each. It can also Gigantamax that you can get by Dynamaxing it. Pokemon number 69, Bellsprout is a plant-based Pokemon with a stem-like brown body. There is a single green leaf on each side of its body. It is a yellow bell-shaped head with what appears to be pink lips at the end and beady black eyes. It is capable of spitting corrosive acid from its mouth. Its stem is long, thin, and very flexible, making it capable of swerving rapidly to avoid many attacks or moving at blinding speed to capture prey. Its roots resemble feet, and it uses them as such. Also nice. Weepinbell is a plant-based Pokemon with a yellow bell-shaped body. Above Weepinbell's circular eyes are 3 small green spots and a small brown hook-shaped stem. It has wide gaping mouth with pink lips. On each side of its body is a green leaf. Weepinbell camouflages itself as a plant in the forest while whistling away at an unwary victim. When its prey draws near, it sprays poison powder to immobilize the target before melting it with its internal acids. It oozes a neutralizing fluid that prevents these internal acids from melting its own body. Victreebel is a plant Pokemon with a bell-shaped body. It has a gaping mouth with pink lips and 2 sharp teeth. Its semicircular eyes appear directly under its mouth and has several dark green spots on its body. On either side of its body is a large green leaf. Covering Victreebel's mouth is a leaf with long brown yellow-tipped vine growing out of it. The vine is flicked to mimic an animal in order to attract prey. Victreebel also produces a sweet scent to further aid in luring its victims. Tentacle is a small jellyfish-like Pokemon. It has light blue clear body with 2 large transparent red circles on each side of its body and 1 small one in the middle. Near the base of its body is a pointed beak-like projection and 2 eyes with small pupils. There are 2 grayish tentacles extending from beneath its round lower body, which is cape-like formation on the back. Tentacle's entire body is made of 99% water, and the remaining 1% contains an organ that makes out its poison. Tentacle is a large jellyfish-like Pokemon. It has clear light blue body that has 2 large red orbs on either side and smaller orb in the center. Its eyes are visible in its round lower body, which is black. Extending from its lower body are 2 blue beak-like appendages and numerous grayish tentacles. Its red orbs glow whenever it's excited or agitated, and it may alert others to danger by stridently flashing them. They are also capable of refracting sunlight, storing energy, and firing ultrasonic waves. Geodude is a gray Boulder Pokemon. It has bulging rocky eyebrows, trapezoidal brown eyes, and a wide mouth. Its arms are muscular with 5-fingered hands. Geodude uses its arms to climb steadily up steep mountain paths. It is proud of its sturdy body and will bash against others in kind of contest of sorts to prove whose body is harder. The longer it lives, the more chipped and wounded its body becomes. Eventually, it will be completely smooth and round. In the Alola region, Geodude is made from a magnetic rock with more silvery appearance. These areas on Alola and Geodude's body are especially magnetic and attract iron sand, creating the appearance of black eyebrows and strands of short black hair. Graveler is a bipedal Boulder Pokemon. Its round body is covered with small bumps and has a rocky crest above its small eyes and mouth. It has 4 arms, each with a 3-fingered hand. Its second pair of arms is typically kept tucked against its chest. It was shown in Pokemon Snap that, despite having legs, it can revert to a legless form. This grants it the ability to float. In the Alola region, Graveler looks similar to its regular counterpart, but with a silvery sheen. It lacks defined digits in its upper limbs and has 2 toes on each foot, rather than 3. There are several small yellowish crystals scattered across its body, and iron sand attracted to magnetism. Golem is a bipedal Pokemon with a spherical body covered by a shell of plated green rocks. Its body is so hard that even dynamite cannot scratch it. Its head protrudes from the center of its shell. The head has a flat snout with 2 pointed teeth in the lower jaw and red eyes. It has short arms that have 3 claws and 2 legs with feet that have 4 claws in the front and 1 in the back. The head and limbs are light brown. Golem grows even bigger by shedding its skin once a year. The discard shell immediately hardens when exposed to air, crumbling away and returning to its soil. In the Alola region, Golem has much shorter forearms with 2 claws. The feet only have 2 claws as well. Its face attracts iron sand, creating the appearance of a mustache, eyebrows, and a large black beard. Jutting out of the top of the body are 2 large black rocks with smaller rock in between. Ponyta is a horse-based Pokemon with cream-colored fur. It has brown eyes and triangular ears with reddish interiors. Yellow and reddish orange flames form its mane and tail. The mane forms a short crest on top of its head and a short stripe down to the back of its tail. Additional flames are present behind its elbows and knees. The fire appears about half an hour before hatching. It has 4 long legs, each ending in a single gray hoof. These hoofs are said to have been harder than diamonds. In the Galar region, Ponyta has adapted to these forests by exposing to the life energy from it. Its chalk white fur, long purple and blue cloudy fur, is also said to be on top of its dark purple hooves. Rapidash is a horse-based Pokemon with cream-colored fur and a pointed horn on its forehead. It has small red eyes and triangular ears with reddish interiors. Yellow and reddish orange flames steam from the back of its head to form a long flowing mane. A shorter version of the mane travels down its back with its equally fiery tail. Flames are also present on its fetlocks. It has slender legs, each with a single black hoof. In the Galar region, Rapidash takes on a new form with a white coat, pale blue eyes, and long curly mane and tail colored in streaks of pastel cyan and pink. Its horn is much longer than a regular Rapidash and is deep violet in color with a spiraling white line running in its length. Slowpoke is a pink Pokemon that resembles a cross between a salamander and a hippopotamus. It has vacant eyes that never seem focused, curled ears, and a rounded tan muzzle. It has 4 legs, each of which end in a single white claw. Its long tapering tail has a white lip. This tail drips a sweet, sappy substance that is attracted to many species of fish. Slowpoke uses the tail as a fishing lure. The tail often breaks off, but it will grow back. In Alola, the tail often dries and is used in home-cooked stews. Slowbro is a bipedal pink Pokemon with a tan striped belly and a rounded tan muzzle. It has large vacant eyes, curled ears, and 2 pointed teeth protruding from its upper jaw. It has 3 clawed fingers on its hands and 2 clawed toes on its feet. There's a shelter attached to its tail. The shelter has a gray spiral shell with darker gray spots and smaller eyes near the base. There are several spikes across the surface of its shelter, and it holds onto Slowbro with many sharp teeth. Shoulder developed its spiral form in an effort to suck more sweetness out of Slowbro's tail. It also has a Mega Evolved form that you can use with the Slowbroite. Magnemite is a seemingly robotic Pokemon that has gray spherical metal body with blue and red tip horseshoe magnets on each side and a single large eye. It has 3 Phillip head screws on the top of its body, 2 near the bottom of its body, and 1 on the top of its head that looks similar to an antenna. The 2 bottom screws serve no noticeable purposes, although there may be a feet as the Pokemon identifies a footprint smaller to the one on the screw's head. Even though Magnemite has evolved forms and mechanical creatures, the anime has shown that it has emotions and a way of reproducing. Magneton is a result of 3 Magnemites becoming linked together by a strong magnetic force, although a single Magnemite can evolve by itself when no other Magnemite are in the vicinity. Each individual Magnemite has a gray spherical body with a single eye, a gray and red shaped blue tip horseshoe magnet on each side. The topmost Magnemite has 3 Phillip head screws on its body, while the others appear to only have 2. The 3 Magnemite that Magneton consists of can be linked in several ways. Farfetchd is an avian Pokemon that resembles a light brown duck with a white underbelly. It has flat yellow beak, brown eyes, and a V-shaped black marking on its forehead similar to a unibrow, and 3 feather crests on top of its head. Its wings are as big as its body and appear to be prehensile enough to be substitute for hands. It has yellow legs with webbed feet and a stubby tail. Galarian Farfetchd is a deeper shade of brown with a more prominent black mark on its head. Its leak carries are over its wings and much larger in Galos than those elsewhere. It developed much stronger frames that allows it to have strength to carry its leak, but sheer the mass of it makes it hard for Farfetchd to fly. Doduo is a 2-headed bipedal avian Pokemon. Each head has a long sharp beak and 2 beady black eyes. It has a bristly down-like covering and brown feathers on body and both heads. A male has a black flexible neck, whereas a female has brown necks. Both genders have brown legs, each has 4 digits ending in sharp claw. Both heads have identical brains. Dodrio is a large wingless 3-headed avian Pokemon. Each head has a long sharp beak and a black V-shaped feather crest. It has bristly brown feathers covering its head and upper body, while its lower half has a smooth layer of black feathers. Its tail consists of 3 pale red feathers with lighter tips. Its wingless body rests on 2 long and slender but powerful legs with feet that have 3 clawed toes in front and 1 in the back. A male has black necks, whereas a female has brown necks. Both genders have brown legs. Cee Lo is a Pokemon based on a seal with a thick hide covered in bluish-white fur. It is a pale tan maw with a large red tongue and a pair of tusks on its lower jaw. It has circular eyes and a black nose that is capable of closing when it swims. It has a small horn on its forehead, which it uses in combination with its tusks to bore through ice flows. It has 2 clippers on its chest and 2 more on the end of its tail. When the tail is raised, it resembles a waterspout. Dugong is a Pokemon also based on a seal with a snowy white, flurry body. Its fur renders it virtually invisible in snowy conditions. Its face has 2 black eyes, a black nose, and 2 tusks extending from its upper jaw. It has a streamlined body with 2 front flippers and a long flowing tail. Even in extremely cold and ice-packed waters, its tail allows it to swim at an agile swimmer speeds of 8 knots. On top of its head is a sharp horn, which allows it to cut through the thickest of ice floes. Grimer is a slimy amorphous Pokemon whose body was animated because of lunar radiation. It has 2 large eyes with beady pupils, a gaping mouth with a graded tongue. While it lacks any visible legs, it does have 2 arms with 3 digits on each hand. Its purple sludge body contains a variety of purine bacteria, which are so potent that it renders soil barren and incapable of supporting plant life. It is constantly oozing a bacteria-rich fluid from all parts of its body. Grimer was brought to Alola to deal with the excess waste generated by the region's decreased population. Alolan Grimer eats solid garbage instead of sludge. This new diet has caused its body, composition, and form to change. Mach is a large, sticky, amorphous Pokemon made of living purple sludge. It has 2 small eyes with beady black pupils. It also has an enormous mouth with a gray tongue and strands of ooze connecting from the top and bottom jaws. While it has no visible legs, it does have 2 arms with 3 fingers on each hand. However, it typically keeps one hand tucked in while extending its other hand. Alolan Mach has a more vibrant coloration, consisting of green, pink, and yellow stripes with thin blue hands in between. The green, yellow, and pink stripes are capable of shifting downwards while blue stays in place. It has various white, crystallized poison shards protruding from parts of its body, especially from its mouth, fingers, giving the impression of claws and fangs. And finally, we have Shellder. Shellder is a black pearl-like Pokemon encased with a spiky blue violet bivolive shell. It has 2 round white eyes with tiny black pupils. Its enormously long round tongue is used to bury itself in the sand and sleep overnight, and also to lure and capture prey. The tongue protrudes even when the shell is closed, and tucking in will shell the cause to pop open. Its soft and tender body is well protected with an extremely durable shell. While it's purported to be harder than diamonds, it has historically been used to make people make shields. And just before this video is over, I wanted to explain that when we covered Slowpoke and Slowbro, you may notice that I did not cover their Galarian forms, and that's because they are currently not released yet with the Isle Armor. And once the Isle Armor does come out, I will make an update video, sort of, covering any Pokemon we've already covered, like, probably be from Gen 1 through 3, or maybe 4 at that point. And then I'll make a little mini video covering those Pokemon, like with their Gigantamax forms or Galarian forms. So I hope you understand, and that's going to do it for this video though, guys. I hope you all enjoy. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. And in the next episode, we'll be going through Pokemon 91 through 120. So I'll see you guys then.